Are you struggling to speak fluently when you really need to? And are you worried about how you will speak in the IELTS speaking test? Well, today I'm going to explain some really easy speaking hacks you can use for immediate results. They will help you in the way that you think in English and overcome any self-doubt you may have. Welcome to the IELTS Speaking Fix, the podcast that gets the worried IELTS speaking student ready to enter their university abroad. I'm your host Dom, and I'm an IELTS teacher and expert who for many years has been helping IELTS students succeed in their speaking test. By the end of today's episode, you will have some easy hacks that you can start using today to help improve your fluency, which ultimately will get you a great score in the IELTS test. Before we dive into today's fluency hacks, let's understand where you are right now. You're a dedicated student, I'm guessing, aiming to achieve a high band score on the IELTS speaking test. Right now, though, you're probably focused on gaining fluency, but feel stuck. The frustration of not being able to develop ideas quickly and maybe the constant self-doubt about your English level can be overwhelming. There's good news, though. I will show you some straightforward techniques that can help you overcome these challenges. Our first fluency hack for today is, quite simply, start thinking in English. Now, this might sound simple, but it's actually incredibly effective. And here's a couple of ways you can do it. First, we have what's called the internal monologue. This is what you listen to, the way we speak to ourselves every day. Now, you'll probably do it in your own native language, but the idea here is to try and trick your brain into thinking and having your internal monologue become English. So the first way to do this is to try and narrate your day-to-day activities, in English in your mind. So, for example, when you're doing things like cooking, think about the steps you're doing in English. Now I'm cutting the vegetables. Next, I will boil the pasta, and so on. You can apply this to all the different routines and activities you're doing on a daily basis. And this will help to try and start your thinking in English a little bit more. Next, a little way you can do this is to describe what you see. Have a look around you. Describe what you see in English. This could be anything from the view outside your window to the items on your desk in front of you. Have a look around you, and just when you've got a moment or two, just describe them in English. Get used to looking and responding to what they are and describing them in English. And the final thing is it's a little trick you can do is to set reminders. Write yourself some basic questions or some prompts in English on some sticky notes. Put them on your fridge, on your mirror, on your computer, on your desk. And then when you see them, take a moment to think and respond in English. It might be something as simple as, what time are we having lunch today? Or what time will I be going out to meet my friend later? So when you see them, think and then respond in English. This is a great way to start influencing and tricking your mind into thinking in English more often. The next is a powerful tool to improve your fluency. It's a hack you can use. It's quite well known, but many people overlook this. It's very powerful, and it's called the shadowing technique. Now, as I said, you may be familiar with it, but for those who are not, I will go through it quickly. First of all, you need to choose some audio that is spoken by a native speaker. You need to listen to clips of audio by native speakers. This could be a podcast like this one. It could be an interview, or even something like a TED Talk. Or even if you want to use the audio files that are available on courses like our free IELTS speaking course. This is something I will tell you about later. Then you need to do what we call listen and repeat. So play a short segment and repeat it immediately, trying to match the speaker's pace, intonation, and pronunciation. So, play a short piece of the audio and then immediately repeat, trying to match and mimic the speaker. And then what you can do as you develop this more is to try and introduce some gradual improvements. So start with shorter segments, as I say, and then gradually increase the length as you become more comfortable. This technique basically helps you mimic native speech patterns, which ultimately, the more you become familiar and the more you practice mimicking them, will definitely improve your fluency. If you're preparing for the IELTS speaking test, I invite you to check out my free online course, The Easy Way to Answer Any IELTS Speaking Part 1 Questions Without Struggle. This easy-to-follow, step-by-step breakthrough course equips you with everything you need to start your speaking test confidently and fluently. The best part, you'll start seeing progress in as little as 30 minutes per day. Take the first step to your IELTS speaking success and download this free course today using the link in the episode description. Moving on now to another really key area, and this is trying to overcome self-doubt. So here's a little hack that can definitely boost your confidence. And this is what I call scripted speaking practice. So this is where you start by writing out some answers to common IELTS speaking practice questions, IELTS questions, and practicing them. First part then, prepare your scripts. So you need to write a fairly detailed answer to a variety of IELTS speaking questions. Remember to try and use your frameworks that you've been trying to learn before. Then you need to memorize and practice them. So memorize these scripts and practice speaking them aloud until you feel comfortable. Let me just add there, I'm not teaching you here to memorize answers. This is just a technique to overcome sort of self-doubt in your speaking. This is to get you practice speaking. This is to make you memorize some answers so you can use repetition to boost your confidence. This is not to memorize answers and use them in your speaking test. Definitely not what I'm teaching you here. The final part of this process or this technique is to use gradual variation. So gradually move from your scripted answers and start to use more spontaneous speaking by using or making small changes to your answers every time you say them. So once you've got used to memorizing them and practicing them, then introduce some ideas as you're saying them. Just change it slightly, and this again will boost your confidence, make you feel more secure when you're speaking. It's a great way to overall add more power to your progress in terms of fluency. And the final part I want to talk about today is something I spoke about last episode, and it will be mentioned in many episodes because it's really key to your overall fluency, and that is to practice common IELTS topics. You know, this can help you develop your ideas more quickly, and there really is a purpose to this. You've got to have practice with purpose, and the purpose of this practice is not only to keep you speaking in English as often as possible, but the more you practice different topics will help you generate your ideas more quickly. The more experience you have in your preparation will serve you far better when it comes to your actual real speaking test. So, first of all, familiarize yourself with the topics. Create your own list of IELTS speaking topics. It could be the ones you're more comfortable with, or maybe you want to practice the ones you're less comfortable with. Either way, practicing these topics regularly will definitely help you grow your ideas or develop them more quickly. And also, it's perfect to practice your English speaking. The key to fluency is using the vocabulary you already know and using it often. And the best way to do this is simply speak, not through memorization. And by speaking about topics, this helps you speak about the different areas of vocabulary that you need to. Also, use your answer framework. The answer framework is so important because it helps you gain control over your answers. And the more you get used to using a simple answer framework, the more you can think about your English rather than, do I need to speak for longer at this part? What do I need to say next, etc. So a simple framework for answering questions can include things like introductions, main points, examples, and a conclusion. It can definitely help you organize your thoughts more quickly and almost automatically without you thinking. And if you want a good example of an answer framework, then please take a look at my free IELTS speaking course, which you can find in the description. And the final part is to record your practice sessions. Record your practice answers and listen to them. You can identify areas for improvement and you can definitely work on them then. You can self-analyze some of your mistakes, and then, it may be something to do with your intonation, maybe your pronunciation, or just the organization of your answers. But record them on your phone, play them back, and see if you need to adjust something. It's as simple as that. Okay, thank you for joining me again today on the IELTS Speaking Fix. Remember, just using one or two of the speaking hacks I've spoken about today can start to improve your fluency almost immediately, unlocking your full IELTS speaking potential, which you've all got. So, in the next episode, we'll be looking at the secret habits that nearly all successful IELTS students adopt to secure their place in the university of their choice abroad. I hope you can join us for that so you can hear all about them. Until next time, keep striving for your dreams. One more thing, please don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and share it with your fellow IELTS students. Good luck with your preparation and see you in the next episode. If you're preparing for the IELTS speaking test, I invite you to check out my free online course, the easy way to answer any IELTS speaking Part 1 questions without struggle. This easy to follow step-by-step breakthrough course equips you with everything you need to start your speaking test confidently and fluently. The best part, you'll start seeing progress in as little as 30 minutes per day. Take the first step to your IELTS speaking success and download this free course today using the link in the episode description.